Hey guys, it's Julia, and today is day 8 of the Strikeback Videoathon, and today's prompt is actually to talk about your book boyfriends, but I'm actually going to be doing something different because even though I love that idea, I just decided that I needed to do a book review for you guys, which I haven't done in forever. I don't know why, but I just haven't. So I'm going to be doing a book review over The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. So if you don't know what this book is about, it is about a girl named Jude who is born in the human world, and she has 2 sisters, and one day this fae comes to her house and basically slaughters her mom and dad, and she finds out that her sister is actually not human and she is half fae, and this fae that has killed her mom and dad has decided to take her sister, who is actually his daughter, and Jude and their other sister back to the fairy realm, and he raises all 3 girls as his own. Basically, Jude has a really hard time growing up in the fae world. She really wants to be fae and she really wants to fit in, but all the other fae see human as worthless and just annoying pests, basically. And there's this prince who is just extremely awful to Jude, and she decides that she really wants to become part of the guard for the king, and at the same time there is going to be a handoff for the crown, basically, and the king is going to be stepping down and choosing one of his children to take the throne. So there's kind of like this war between the sons, the 2 older sons who are trying to gain the throne. Jude takes upon herself the responsibility to save her sisters and save all the fairy people. So it is a very interesting story. So now I'm going to talk about the characters and what I thought about the characters in the story. So I really enjoyed a lot of the characters in the story, but I would have liked to have seen like some backstory to some of the minor characters. Like, the author does get a lot into detail about the main character and one of the princes and the sisters, but I would have liked to see more backstory behind like Maddox and some of the friends in the group of the main group, and to kind of like get to know why they are the way that they are. She does that with a few characters, but I think she could have done it with more characters. The main character, Jude, was a very interesting character. I really thought that she was well written and there was a lot of backstory to her as a character, and you kind of see a lot of why she makes the decisions that she does. And a lot of times I found myself being like thinking she was going to do one thing and then she does a completely different thing, so I did not know what she was going to do in this whole book. Like, I could never ever predict what she was going to do, and I liked that about this book. Like, I think a lot of it, you think it's going to go one way because that's how YA usually goes, but it wasn't that way at all. A lot of the things that happened were very unpredictable, and there's betrayal, and it's amazing. Like, you just don't expect it to happen. I had a very like love-hate relationship with this book because a lot of the tropes that I do like to see in books were turned around and made into something else. Like, you thought it was going to be this trope that you're so used to, and then it was just torn apart into something completely different, which I liked. It was a little rattling for me where I was like, do I like that or do I not like that? And I was like, yes, I like it because it's different. It's different than what it normally is or what normally happens in a YA book. So I really enjoyed that aspect. At first I didn't think I was going to like this book. I read about half of it and was like, this is kind of like, there's a bully and he's bullying this girl and it's just kind of annoying. Like, it seemed almost more contemporary to me at first. Like, I was just like, there's not a lot of action happening and it's just this boy picking on this girl and this group of friends picking on this girl, and it was just kind of weird. But then some things happened, like some Game of Thrones stuff happened. Like, you're like, what just happened? And it was just amazing. Like, I was like, oh, I like this book. I really like this book now because that just turned it around for me. And the beginning of the story was really important to the buildup of the rest of the story, and it's like, it's slow pace till like the middle of the book, and then it's like bam, so fast. Like, it took me a few days to read to the middle of the book, and then once I hit that middle book, I read it in like a day. So I really did enjoy this book. I really liked it a lot. I do think, and definitely when I first started reading that the Cruel Prince wasn't really a good name for this book, which I don't often think that. I don't really think about the title and the story. Usually those titles really go well with the stories. Like, publishers do a really good job of, I think it's the publishers who help decide the name of the book. I don't know if that really plays into it or not, but I do think that this title of this book was not really, it was kind of misleading as to what the story was about. I mean, yes, there's a prince who is cruel in it, but he is not the main focus of the story. I mean, he is in the story, but really Jude is the main focus of the story, and I would have liked to see a title that had to do more with her rather than him. But this cover's beautiful, and this book was good. So let's get into the rating. So I am leaning in between a 3.5 and a 4-star rating. I don't really think it deserves a total 4-star rating, but I don't think it really deserves a 3.5-star rating either. So I'm thinking like 3.75. 3.75. I've never given a book that rating before, but I did really enjoy this book, but at the same time there were a lot of things that I was like, nee, this could be different, or the beginning of the book should have been a little more fast-paced, or there should have been a little bit more action, or things that were interesting that really brought in the magic element to the story. There were some magical elements in the beginning, but I just don't think there was enough. I think that there should have been more brought into that. But overall, I think this story was awesome because it was different than what you normally read. I think that a lot of the rules that are in a lot of fae books were followed in this, but I do think that the story was a new story that I haven't heard before, and there were a lot of tropes being twisted into something different that I really enjoyed. Like, please give me some more of that, because the writing of this book was fantastic, was phenomenal, and I loved it, and I really liked this. Normally when I give a 3-star rating, the book is just meh, but obviously, like I said, this book is a 3.75-star rating, so I did really like it. I did like it. Yeah. Alright, so if you asked me if I recommend this book, I would say yes, give it a try, because I think this is a book that you will either really love or really hate. So give it a chance and see which one you're gonna fall into. You're gonna fall into that I really hate it or I really love that, but I really recommend that if you are going to read this book and you are like, I'm gonna read this book, give it a chance past the midpoint. Like, finish it all the way through. Don't read it halfway through and DNF it, because the best parts of this book are the last part of the book. So that is really it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Oh wait, I forgot my shout outs. Okay, so I'm going to be shouting out 2 channels that I really like that I've recently just started watching. I would highly recommend checking them out. So these 2 channels are Tiny Book Dragon over here and Coffee Beans and Bookmarks. They are both very lovely ladies, and I really enjoy watching their channels, so definitely go check them out and give them a like and a subscribe, or a couple likes and a subscribe, one of the 2. Anyway, so that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!